All right, we are coming on just a few minutes early. This one is all but wrapped up in the books. Right now, 113 left. Warriors up 117 to 95. Really, the last five or so minutes of this game looked like the ending game or the last game of the day at your local pickup gym. Looks like both teams, trying to get off the court healthy at this point. Tired too. A lot of the guys for the Kings saw extended minutes, many more minutes than normal. Connor is going to be joining us on the pregame show here in just a few minutes. Again, the score right now, Warriors 119, Kings 95. Kings are going to go to a 3-game skid currently to go into the last game, game 82 against Denver. Warriors we'll see what the Clippers do, but this definitely looks like it could be a first round matchup for the Kings. And it looks like, I believe, only the second time this year the Kings are going to be held under 100 points. So, not a lot to say about this one. I did like the hustle from the Kings tonight. I thought they were scrappy. They tried their best to compete, and they were undermanned. They were outmanned. Let's put it that way. And let's remember that Golden State, they gave the Kings their best shot. They had all of their guys, minus Wiggins, on the court tonight. So, it is what it is. I wish the home crowd would have been able to see the Kings at full strength against this Golden State Warriors team. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Mike Brown chose to rest, Fox, all the significant guys that we would normally see, Sabonis, Herter, and this is the result. But again, the positive looks like nobody is going to be coming out of this one on the Kings end. They'll be a little tired. They're definitely going to be some ice baths, but doesn't look like anybody is going to be injured or banged up after this game. I'm Ryan in Sacktown. Grant is actually on his way to Sacramento right now. So Connor is going to join me in just a second. It has gone final. The Golden State Warriors have beat the Sacramento Kings 119-97. We will wrap it up for you. This is the postgame show on If You Don't Like That. All right, let me bring in the con man right now. Connor, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good. Would have been better if the Kings had gotten it done, but still doing good.
Sorry, Connor, you got me?
Yeah, you hear me?
Oh, had some technical difficulties for a second. Sorry about that. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good. I was just saying it would have been better if they could have gotten the win, but I think most people expected a loss tonight.
Yeah, I think nobody had high expectations coming into tonight. Like I said at the beginning, it's good that there were no injuries. Some guys did get some extended run, but some of the things we talked about at halftime came true. The Kings were held under 100 points. Their shooting percentage, 38.8% from the field. 3-pointers did go down 28.2%. Free throws did go up. That was a good thing, but they did not shoot a very good percentage, 10 of 18, so 55.6%. Anything in the second half really jump out to you?
Yeah, looking at Keegan Murray and Terrence Davis, just way too many shots from those two guys. I mean, I think Davis should have kind of gotten the memo in the first half that his shots weren't falling, but he just kept taking shot after shot, and the percentages weren't there for their shooters tonight.
Yeah, I've mentioned it, but I've had that concern about Terrence Davis when he has gotten minutes. Let me pull his numbers up really quick. It was not a good night for him. He was 4 of 16 from the field, 2 of 10 from the 3 point line. I thought one thing that definitely stuck out to me was that there was not a king on the court that could create their own shot.
Yeah, it's a good point. You got guys like Dozier and Edwards, more spot up kind of guys with Murray and Davis. I mean, it's what you kind of expected. A lot of these guys at the ends of the bench aren't usually known for their shot creating ability, but it would have been cool to see a little bit from some of the guys at the end of the bench.
Yeah, it's funny, Athena Channel. I did notice that there were some staff members that were looking a little sad. That it was actually happening a little bit in the first half. I posted that to my Twitter account. Some guy, some people are glad that players got time. Um, but at times it was not fun watching. Yeah, I mean, it really did look like a pickup game. This isn't going to be a normal post game show because this wasn't a normal game. There's not much to break down here. I mean, we saw your prototypical Warriors, especially the second half, the big third quarter. Steph Curry. I mean, the one reminder that I think you get from this game, seeing Steph and Clay specifically, is how quickly that ball can come out of their hands. And so the moments that I was trying to watch for in this game were when Kessler may have been guarding one of them, Keegan was on one of them. I wanted to see how they were going to react because that is going to be playoff basketball. Connor, did you see any worries or pick any of those things out with the guys that are going to get minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously concerning. I mean, this game was sloppy on both sides. The Warriors didn't blow me away at all in this game. Obviously, they took charge in that third quarter, which they're known to being able to do on any team against teams at full strength. They can go on those 10-point runs when all of a sudden the game's tied and then you look up and they're up by 20. But obviously, I think that it's reduced tonight because of the situation the Kings were in. But in terms of playoff basketball, there's not a lot of takeaways from tonight's game just because of the players and personnel that were out there. But the biggest thing that concerned me was Davion Mitchell. Just not really anything other than that spectacular, almost poster dunk that still went in. That's all I got from him tonight.
Yeah, that was lucky to go in. I mean, he was not going to dunk that ball. But I do like the aggression. At least the guys put up some fight. Like I said, they were scrappy. It was a game. How did you feel about the crowd? It just felt like really the crowd couldn't get into it, and there was a decent amount of Warriors fans there.
Yeah, it's going to be a possible playoff preview with the Warriors fans are going to be loud. They're going to be scattered all over Golden One. But your point about the Kings fans, I mean, there's not much they could have gotten excited about tonight. I mean, maybe in the first half when it was only a 5 point game at halftime, but the Warriors came out in the first minute or two or the second half and kind of made the statement and showed everyone that they weren't going to lose this game tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And it's still to see, question, Michael, who it's going to be. It looks like probably the Clippers. The Warriors go on to play Portland for their last game of the season. So I'm not sure who has the tiebreaker between those two teams. I would assume it's probably the Warriors, but I would have to double check that. But we will know for sure by Sunday who the Kings are playing in the first round, and that's literally what we turn our attention to. And not to forget the season this team has had, the regular season. It's been absolutely amazing. It's exceeded all of our expectations, and now we're going on, and we're going into a Western Conference where really it's up for grabs. I mean, Connor, when you look at the Western Conference, As of today, who do you see coming out of the West?
Yeah, there's no certain answer like there usually is. Obviously, the East, you look at the Bucks and the Celtics is the surefire answers there, but in the West, it's up for grabs. It's anybody. Obviously, I've heard a lot of people mention the Suns with, I mean, they're veterans. You got Chris Paul and Kevin Durant, and then Devin Booker, and that's a very scary duo without mentioning DeAndre Ayton. But obviously, the Suns have played well. I don't think they've lost with Kevin Durant playing on their team yet, but the playoffs, I don't know about a 7 game series. I think anybody could have it. The Nuggets have been struggling recently, but and they're usually a regular season team anyway, so I'm not too scared of them. But Memphis, that's a team definitely to look out for. I mean, with how well they've played, especially that stretch without Ja Morant, I don't think you can just look past them.
Well, and yeah, I mean, they played, like you said, really well without Jaw. Now that he's kind of assimilated back in with that unit, Steven Adams still yet to return. When he comes back in, that's going to be huge for them. And then also Luke Kennard, who they picked up at the trade deadline. That was a big pickup. He's shooting over 50% from behind the arc for them. So, Memphis, certainly you have to watch out for them, but I do think Phoenix is the team to beat right now in the West. Denver has been up and down. Jamal Murray, is he dealing with a finger injury? Is he not? The Joker, he's had some calf issues. So we will see. And that's what makes the playoffs, especially in the West, fun because it's going to be, like I said, in my opinion, up for grabs. Connor, maybe losing this game benefited the Kings, so we won't play the Warriors in the first round?
Yes and no. Obviously, I'm not a fan of kind of packing it up and not trying. It doesn't seem like it's in the DNA of these athletes to when you tell them to basically go out and lose a game, especially with sitting the guys, your main guys. I'm sure that's a bonus. A guy like him wasn't happy when he was probably told that he wouldn't be playing tonight because that's a guy that plays every game he can. He's playing through a broken thumb all year, and I mean he goes out and he gets his work done every game. So I'm sure he wasn't happy with the decision, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's one game. This team's headed to the playoffs. And if they all played and one of our guys went down for the season, it would just be chaos right now in this post game show. So it's good that they avoided that.
Yeah, it would be chaos. I agree, but I'm with you. I think I mean, we've kind of beat the dead horse. I think they still should have played him, but it is what it is. Pup, Grant has had an interesting take on this. He thinks that the fans should actually be reimbursed for games like this when teams sit the majority of their starters. And I mean, I don't know how you get to that point, the logistics, but I don't disagree with him. For all the fans that, targeted this game early in the season, if you only bought tickets to one game, it's like, I want to go see the Warriors. Well, you got to see the Warriors, but a lot of those fans want to see their Kings at full strength too. And it's not a cheap ticket, especially with the team doing as well as they've been doing. So, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of disappointment from some fans. And quite frankly, I saw a lot of empty seats tonight in the arena. So definitely Sabonis and Fox sitting and Herter that contributed to that atmosphere. So, anyways, let's see. We got another one about the Warriors. Did Warriors teach Kings a lesson on what the playoffs will look like? Connor and I at the same time. No. They did not. You have to look at who was on the floor for the Kings. I mean, you could run the analytics, and my guess is the starting five that was on the floor for the Kings tonight has not played all together one time this year. So it is no preview of what the playoffs will look like. And quite frankly, the Warriors even struggled too tonight. The Warriors didn't play the cleanest of games, and they kind of played down to the Kings level at some time or at some points where they were just throwing the ball around the gym. And especially in that fourth quarter, it became really, really lazy. basketball, but again, it is game 81, and there were a lot of guys getting a lot of extended minutes that don't usually play that much. So let's talk about this really quick. If we have our choice, and I know it is looking like Clippers or Warriors, let's throw the Lakers in there just for fun. Out of those three teams, who do you think is the best matchup for the Kings?
Without a doubt, it's the Clippers. 3-1 against them this year. They put up a historic number, 176 on them. You give up 175 and you still win a game. That's basically all I need to know. And you talk about Paul George, he didn't play in the second overtime and stuff. I mean, that doesn't really matter to me. They showed with Westbrook in one of his first games, that team looked pretty solid and they were still able to just put up monstrous numbers. And then you look at the Lakers, obviously nobody wants to play against a healthy LeBron James in the playoffs just because of his track record.
Yeah.
But I've said it a lot of times that when are the Lakers ever really healthy? I mean, we look at the playoffs and stuff, everybody's assuming they're going to be so scary if they get into the playoffs and they're all healthy and that Austin Reeves is the second coming of Michael Jordan. But I mean, this team with LeBron, he's been injured all year, in and out. Anthony Davis, the same thing. But I'd much rather have them than I would the Warriors, the defending champions. What Steph Curry does in the playoffs, nobody else can do. So the Clippers are the surefire choice, but that's not a cakewalk of a series in any means to me.
No, and Paul makes a great point. We can't look past anybody, regardless of who it is. I'm with you. I think it's the Clippers. Paul George, we don't know what his status is going to be. Kawhi, bottom line, Kawhi is going to get his against anyone. There's not anyone in the NBA that can really guard him. But when I look at the stars on all three of the teams that we're talking about, Kawhi is the best matchup or most guardable with what we have on defense and what we have on our roster. And the Clippers, they're an older team too. That's the other thing. And granted, Russ Westbrook has played well the two meetings that he did play against Sacramento once he joined the Clippers. But for whatever reason, the Kings match up really well with them. They seem to have their number. And, that would be my number one matchup. Number two would be the team we saw tonight, the Warriors. It's an up-style pace of basketball. I think the Kings actually would really benefit because the Warriors, when they are most efficient, it's when they're playing at that high pace. I think the Kings could actually slow them down while still playing with pace. And that goes to Sabonis, Fox, the different things they do, Herter. And with the big men for the Warriors, it's more friendly for us with matchups down there. The Lakers are probably the team that I would not want to see just because who in the heck's going to guard Anthony Davis? If Sabonis gets in foul trouble, Alex Len, is he going to get on Davis? No. He's just going to blow right by him. Trey Lyles, Davis will shoot over him. So, and we're not even talking about LeBron. So that's where I am at with those. Let us know who you guys would want to see. Yes, he would. I think so too, Philip. Connor, they think you'll make a great sports analyst on TV one day. Paul, Connor gets it. Yes, sir.
Really appreciate that.
And yeah, thank you, John. Do us a favor. Grant again is in the air. He is headed to Sacramento. We're going to be doing live shows and events for all of you to come out and do it during the playoffs at some different locations. So we're covering the show tonight, but please subscribe, give us thumbs up. And we can't wait to we're going to ramp up our playoff coverage. We can't wait to get you guys all that coverage. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, Connor, he's a first time playoff Kings fan, and it's going to be great getting out there with all of you once Grant gets here. But yeah, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Let's see. Connor is the Keegan Murray of sports broadcasting. What's that mean?
I think that I'm just really
smooth,
chill and low energy.
Chill, low energy. Yeah. No, I gotcha. Let's see. You would love the Kings to play Lakers because woke is trash. All right, fair enough. I asked you to put in who you would like to see. Yeah, this is interesting. Connor, what do you make of what the Mavericks did tonight?
Just a disgrace, in my opinion. You have a chance to get into the playoffs or at least get into the play-in. You play all your guys against the Kings. Of course, the Kings are the team that end up kind of getting screwed there. And then the next game, Doncic plays one quarter. Kyrie Irving, a lot of the other key guys don't even play. It's not like this is some 2003 draft class that they're walking into, and they don't have a high pick of any means. So pretty confusing to me, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with Kyrie Irving in the offseason.
Yeah, it is. I highly doubt that he will be back in Dallas. That would very much surprise me. It doesn't seem like there's much chemistry between those two players, but you using the word embarrassing is spot on. I mean, it's as blatant. It's not like the Kings tonight, and I'm not defending it, where the Kings rested their guys. The Kings are locked into the third seed, especially with Memphis being up like they were before the Kings even tipped off tonight. Dallas had a chance to be in the play-in. They did, and they chose instead to make sure that their draft pick would be protected and they'd get in the lottery. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Yeah, look, you're getting so much love tonight, man. Keegan has Barnes like professionalism. High praise for Connor. I agree 100%. Um, Ricky, all right, I'll let you go first, Connor. If it is the Warriors, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that it would be a very entertaining series, the I-80 Classic. I think Grant mentioned today, this is the first time these two teams are really good at the same time since the Kings arrived in '85, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. So, obviously, and there's going to be a lot of fans from both teams in both away buildings. It's going to be a high scoring shootout probably every night with not a lot of defense except maybe on the Warriors' end in clutch time. But it's a scary matchup because we saw what Steph Curry did tonight, and that's nowhere near at his best. And Klay Thompson and Draymond, and they're pretty deep with guys like DiVincenzo and Kuminga. So if we wanted to put a number on it and stuff, I'd probably lean towards the Warriors in about 6 games. But I wouldn't be surprised if the
Mm.
Kings won in the first round because I think that's the expectation when you're a top 4 seed in the West.
Yeah, it would. Well, here's the everybody's talking about the Warriors not having to travel, how it's a benefit. Well, guess what? The Kings don't really have to travel either. Okay, they both play the same games in the same arenas, so I think that factor kind of just takes it away. It cancels out for each team. The Warriors are the defending champions. You hit on that. We forget that they are the defending champions, and they're going to come out and play like that. The Warriors are one of those teams, even though they have been terrible on the road this year, that they just need a ticket to the dance to get in, and they can make some noise. That being said, I do think the window is closing on this Warriors team. Steph is still Steph. Klay is not the same Klay. Still a very good Klay, but not the same Klay. And I think it would probably go 7 games. But I think it would be an exciting matchup. The Warriors would be favored. There's no doubt about that. Probably anybody other than the Clippers would be favored against the Kings in the first round. But I think the Kings would ultimately come out winning that first round matchup against the Warriors, but they would push them to the limit. And if the Kings can get past the first round, I wouldn't be surprised if they could run off a second round too. So it's just nobody knows how the Kings are going to react to being in the playoffs. It's been so long, but remember, Harrison Barnes has won a championship. Sabonis, he has playoff experience. Mike Brown, he's won titles with the Warriors. So there's a lot of experience there and, knowledge that can be passed down to the guys that have not been in the playoffs yet. While we have a quick second, wanted to remind you about Bennett's. We talk about them all the time, and we're literally not blowing smoke to you. You have to go try Bennett's. They have locations in Roseville, Sacramento off of Howe and Fair Oaks, and also soon to come third location in Rockland in the Blue Oaks Town Center. They have everything you can think of. They have prime cuts of steak, great seafood, awesome burgers. They've got great specials too. We've got a prime rib special on Sunday. And don't forget, they have brunch on Sundays, and they have a mimosa special as well. And bring your appetite. They've got huge portions, but definitely one of my favorite places and Grant's favorite places to dine in Sacramento, and we'll likely be holding an event there too. Brian Bennett, I saw him at the game tonight. He's a big fan of the Kings and huge supporter of the show. So go to Bennett's, tell them Grant and Ryan sent you, and we promise you will have a great meal. Bennett's locations in Roseville, Sacramento, and a third one opening very soon in the Blue Oaks Town Center. All right. Well, I don't think there's going to be a ton more to talk about, with this one tonight. I mean, obviously, it's predicting the playoffs. It's the what ifs. We don't have glass balls. Paul thinks it's a toss up, but he thinks it would be an awesome series. So we got to sit and wait, and we will know by Sunday. Probably know tomorrow. Well, no, Sunday likely. Who we're going to see. And that's one of the beauties of it. The Eastern Conference all tips off at the same time. Western Conference all tips off at the same time. And then we'll have a week to break it down. And by the way, on Wednesday on this channel, if you have not watched the Grant and Jerry show on Wednesdays, it's awesome. Jerry Reynolds comes on here for about 45 minutes, and to see those two reunited, and it's awesome. So you've got to check it out. All of the episodes, you can go to Grant's channel. If you don't like that, you can rewatch those. And then we are going to have a playoff special where we break it down and we talk about it with Jerry, I believe, and Grant and I. So look for that Wednesday. We're going to have a fun time doing that once Grant gets here to town. And make sure you check that out. You can check out Grant's Twitter page at Grant Napier Show for any updates. So any closing thoughts, Conman?
Well, it's probably going to just start to hit Kings fans that they got a playoff series in about a week and a half, and it's going to be incredible atmosphere. The fans are going to go crazy, and let's just hope the team can put up the production to back that.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun time. I mean, it already is a fun time. I think once we know who we're playing, then everybody can kind of settle in, and it'll be analyzed for sure from many different angles by many people, especially the national media. But the one thing that I did want to remind people of is Sunday, Easter Sunday. Also Masters final round, depending on the weather. Not sure if you guys are golf fans. And then obviously the Nuggets game, we don't expect really anybody to be playing for the Kings. So we probably, and stay posted to our social medias at Grant Napier Show. Mine is tagged under me, or it should be. It's at Ryan_in_Sacktown, and then at Connor Danzy. We'll let you know. Grant is not going to be able to come on, but Connor and I may pop on for a post-game show. There's probably not going to be halftime and pregame, but maybe a post-game show Sunday. Just something brief to let you know who we're playing in the playoffs, do a quick couple minutes on it, wrap up the season, and then, like I said, on Wednesday, we'll have our full playoff preview. So wanted to give you a heads up on that. So you want a Rhinos rant? I really don't. I don't have a big rant, but here's what I will tell you. And I'm not saying this because I have the pleasure of getting to work with Grant on these shows and on other shows. But tonight, watching the game, we've all been critical this year of the Kings broadcasters, right? And what's the stat that Grant and I always talk about? We talk about assists and turnovers, right? Well, working with Grant Napier, if Grant Napier could make a broomstick look good working with him, he sets you up so well, even just if you're having a conversation with him. But I'm sitting there watching the third and fourth quarter of the game tonight. Mark Jones has to be the absolute worst you can't even call him a play-by-play call. It's not what he is. He sits there and does the game by himself. There were 7, 8, 9 possession stretches where he didn't say, or Katie didn't say a darn word. So I'm not going to rant on him and give him the glory, but I want to give Katie Christensen all the freaking credit in the world, because not one time was she set up by that man. And do you know how hard it probably is to just pop in when somebody else is trying to do your job? Like it's impossible. So, and it was really frustrating for me because Katie has been very professional and she's taken a lot of heat from people and critics. But Mark, man, awful. And don't get me wrong, we had it great with Grant and Jerry, and you saw how that worked out. But that's like Mark Jones is that one dude when you're at LA Fitness that can't throw a pea in the Pacific, and he's taking every shot. He's dressed to the tens in his freaking Jordans that are 10 years old and super throwbacks, $5,000 a pair. He's got the clean, nice, like warm up suit. He's got the tearaway pants before he checks the ball 2 times. And then he's like calling out, oh, you cut here, you cut there. Dude can't even dribble a damn basketball. Like he's a phony. And so I just feel bad for Katie, and I really appreciate what she does. And that was bad tonight. It was bad, and it just really hit me. Grant, I'm sorry. I had to say it, but it has to be said. She is doing the best. She is making chicken salad out of chicken, you know what. So, anyways, with that being said, all right, Kings lose tonight 119 or 119-97. Con Man and I might be back Sunday. If we are not back Sunday, we hope everybody has a great and safe weekend. Do not forget. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Do not forget, Grant is going to be here in Sacramento. Stay tuned to this channel. Stay tuned to social media, everything, because we'll let you know what the schedule is, where he's going to be, what's going to be going on, so you can come out. We're going to have watch parties. We're going to do the show live from locations. I'm sure Con Man will be at some of those. So stay tuned for that. So, all right, Con Man, thank you so much for joining me tonight on the post-game show. Hope you have a great night, buddy.
You too. Go Kings.
Go Kings. All right, everybody. Again, hope you have an excellent weekend. Kings lose 119-97, but as always, it is great to be here and be around you guys. And we look forward to the next couple days finding out the Kings' first round fate, and look forward to having the boss here back in Sacramento. So we will let the boss play us out the next time you see this video. He should be here in Sacramento, and we might be all watching it together. So, all right, everybody have a great and safe night. For Connor, for Napes, who is in the air, and for myself, Rhino, in Sacktown, have a good one.